ready for that one. All right. Houston, we have a problem. Stick around, we're going to show you how to fix this little issue or how it works itself out. But first, let's take a shot at a pumpkin. It's like a rite of passage. Let's do that, then we're going to get down to business. About to send him home. Hey everybody, it's Raw Hog here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we have the Horizon Firearms. This one is their Vandal Prime model. Man, this company is making some pretty impressive stuff. I didn't know too much about them, did a little research. They're not making cheap, they're not making budget rifles. We'll talk about price a little bit later, but using top components to build their rifles. So, this one's chambered in 22 Creedmoor, and we have to talk about the round just a little bit since that's what it's chambered in. So the 22 Creedmoor, Derek Ratliff, who founded Horizon Firearms, also was the pioneer in the 22 Creedmoor and getting that, SAMI certified, SAMI specs. So he was a predator hunter. Everybody hunts with 22 250s, 223s, and things like that. You start reaching out at longer ranges. Yeah, they're flat shooting, but the wind drift can start messing with them, and that's what makes the 22 Creedmoor shine. Heavier bullets, along with the twist rate, 1 1/8 twist on this, stabilizes bullets, bigger bullets, same trajectory, and they hold more energy when they get there. So just a brief talk about that. We'll leave the link below to Horizon Firearms. Plus that, they have a whole section of how the 22 Creedmoor came about. Didn't want to spend too much time on it. But back to Horizon Firearms. Been making firearms for a while, but I think when he founded it 2012, 2013, they started putting together some quality components. So amazing rifle. The looks are phenomenal right off the bat. But just a quick comparison, if you want to look at the ammo down here, just for a comparison, here is a 223, 22 ARC, there is the 22 Creedmoor, and there is the 308, just for comparisons to give you an idea just of size. Now again, on that website, you have all the ballistics comparisons, everything you need to know about the 22 Creedmoor and why it's making some noise. But anyways, we'll get to the rifle. Now, this is an IOTA EKO stock, many options. If you're building your own rifle to put on different things, they have those, but also you can clearly get the whole rifle. This one came, built like this. But starting at the back here, you have your butt pad. Nothing too fancy there. But now this stock, if you can get in close and look at that, it's got a nice texture. It's not rubbery really. Love the pattern. Again, different patterns, but love the pattern. And it's just a good grip. Now I do like these stocks that have the drop here. I just feel like I can get a good hold on them, pull it into you. I mean, it just really feels good. I really like those. But that's a feature. They don't go cheap on that, but as you're working up in here, we can show you the controls real quick. So there's your cocking indicator back here to show that you're, let me take this magazine out and double check that we are clear, which I already did. So as you see here, watch this little button right here. It's your cocking indicator. So obviously, in case you didn't know if you had one in or not, here's your thumb safety here. So there's that. Now your stiller action in here, they paired up with Capspar in 2021. So this is the stiller Predator action. You've got a nice oversized handle on your bolt, fluted bolt, and I mean this thing is extremely smooth. I mean it'll fall out, So it's smooth, ejection is good, everything that you want in an action. So another great feature is this right here, your trigger. You have your Trigger Tech trigger. Now these come out of the box and they say they're 2 pounds. I tested it with the owner and it was 1.8, something like that. So it is adjustable. If you look in here, I believe that's the adjustment right there. So you can go up or down with it, but I'm gonna tell you, it is smooth. They have their zero creep technology, and that is, they put it on a roller. A lot of triggers, which are still great triggers, have that sliding mechanism. They polish them, they put different finishes on them. But with this roller, you don't feel any creep whatsoever. I mean, it's glorious. So I'll show you a picture. We'll do I'll put it up here and you can take a look at it. So maybe you can get a visual of it from Trigger Tech's website. So we'll do that right now.
Okay, thought this would be good. You can pause it to read it, or you can just, I'll leave a link below in the description. But visuals a little bit better. Free float roller in there for that zero creep technology.
All right, on the trigger, so you kind of see what they have going there. I mean, it's incredible. It really is. But I will say it also has the TKR technology, as they call it, so you don't have over travel when you pull the trigger, and makes for a quicker reset for follow-up shots, and you stay on target as much as possible. Now, with the action, I forgot to mention this action in here. It is based on a Remington 700 footprint, is what it's based on. So, just a quick deal on that. But there's that. Since we're here, I'll show you have a 5-round box magazine. Of course, goes in, nice audible click, and here is your lever right here to release it. So right there, I'd be careful, with gloves on. I would think that could possibly be an issue with the stiff finger before you go into the trigger, maybe releasing that on accident, but just something to think about. Also in here, your trigger guard. You have a nice big trigger guard, like for winter shooting, if you have gloves on and stuff like that. So now, moving on up, of course, your barrel. Now with the 22 Creedmoor, you have 18, 22, and 24-inch options. Whatever your preference is. But as you can see, get in closer and see this fluting. It's a 2-band fluting. So, I mean, they take a lot of weight out of this thing. You add this in, you add this weight loss here, and your fluted bolt. I mean, this thing is 7.4 pounds before the scope and bipod. But I'm telling you, unless I'm just strong as a bull, I mean, this thing is amazingly light. Of course, there's zero recoil with that. And that may be due to the muzzle brake. If you want to get in there and take a good look at that. It's an iota sim brake. So I don't know what that reduces it, but that, along with the fluting and everything, it makes for a really nice light rifle. So, shot it a couple times, and I mean, first impressions, incredible, but we're just shooting steel at like 275. So we're gonna check it out and see what we can get this thing to group. Now it is outfitted with the Swarovski 5-25 by 52. Swarovski makes a great scope. But we're about to take it put it through its paces here, folks. So, but first impressions, well made, good components, feels good, the trigger's great, and it just looks damn good. So, but anyways, let's get to doing a little bit of shooting. What do you say?
Okay, so we had some microphone issues. You can hear the gunshots here, but we did several strings, 3-shot groups, several of those. Microphone cut out, and we couldn't, I was kind of explaining it. A little concerned as we were shooting, and I'm just thinking like, oh my goodness, for this quality of gun, we have some issues. But we'll go inside. We're going to talk about our targets, how things kind of shifted, and then we'll probably, shoot some steel, try to stretch it out, because this video is going to be long.
Okay, so we've got to talk about the shooting and the grouping. We're going to shoot some steel. I don't know, we may have already done that, but so the grouping, again, sat down with it, and these were the groups we were getting. I can't tell if you can see those there. Those are terrible, terrible groups. Now, he's sighted in at 100 yards, so he's a little bit taller, longer arms, all that stuff, so maybe his impact is right on the money, but that was my first group, those 3 in a line, and then this one I moved a sticker down there. So I was like, okay, well that's not good at all, especially for a $3,000 rifle. So I kept shooting, and I was like, well, maybe it's the ammo, because some guns don't like certain ammo. Well, Hornady makes good stuff. These are 80 grain matches, boat tail with an ELD match bullet. So I was like, let me try some Precision Hunter, because I had some real good luck with Precision Hunter. Same thing. Ballistics are exactly the same. The bullet is just, it's an ELDX bullet. So I tried those. Well, then those come out and they were even worse. It was even worse. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to rip this gun. Like, you know, and it was just hard for me to understand. There was the group that had a flyer there. We'll say this trigger will creep up on you like an absolute champ if you're not careful. If you're used to shooting just old regular ARs, and then you start grabbing one of these, it's like, holy, it kind of shocks you. But as you see, my groups there, not very good, kind of atrocious, and they just got worse. But then I had another flyer here, and then went ahead and did another one. That one looked like it was starting to group. So I was like, okay, the Precision Hunter is definitely not the answer. So then I went back to the match. Still terrible, horrific. Like, but it did start to look like it was at least resembling a group. So there was my last one, and I called it a day at that point because I'm like, okay, I got to research this. So what that looks like, it's starting to come together, but still, you know, not what you'd expect from a $3,000 gun. So I went and did some research, got on some forums, hit Google, if you can believe it, looked at some forums, and on their website, they say your gun does not achieve its accuracy until 80 rounds. But give them a call. If you start approaching 40 rounds and you're not, your groups, they're not starting to group, give them a call. They guarantee their accuracy. I want to say it's like half-inch, you know, group at 100 or whatever it is, MOA. But so I started doing the round counts and counting how many we shot, and we shot some steel just messing around. And we were approaching that 40 round mark, and I'm like, well, maybe that's it. And then just some, it's like, so if you can see here, it started to group a little bit. They started to come together some. And I'm like, you know, some crazy wizardry's going on. There is a barrel break-in, depending on the barrel you get. They say they've done the first step, and there's 2 more steps, which is shoot it 3 times, clean it, swab it, shoot it 5 times, then you're ready to go start climbing up in your round count. So that's what I did. I just kept shooting, and they started to come together like magic. And then the next day, went out, and we started getting groups like this. If you can see that. I hope there's no glare on it. We got a light here. But, you know, then you're starting to see, and I was like, you know, this is wild. You know, this is crazy. But as my progression of targets, it did. As we approached that 40 round mark, they started to come together. And then when we got there, they were just, you know, touching holes. So, call me crazy, but that's exactly what happened for us. There's forums, and their website says the same thing. So I just did some research, and that's what happened for us. I thought it was crazy. I thought I was crazy. Maybe I am. Didn't change anything. Same table, same bench. Didn't change anything I was doing. Just kept shooting, just out of frustration. But luckily, I kept going. Did some research, and I'm like, okay, maybe we're getting there because we're about to have to give them a call, you know. And then boom, we started zeroing in like that. So pretty interesting stuff. So I don't know. And maybe the Precision Hunters are good now after you broke in the barrel. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with $3,000 guns, I'll be honest. So, but that's what they said on their website, and we'll leave links below to check it out. But now let's try to stretch it out a little bit, and let's shoot some steel if we haven't already.
With the microphone cut out, so we're gonna have to do it again. But at 500 yards is 31.1 inch drop. Let's see what we can do. I'll zoom in on the target again. I've already been here before, you know, but we're at 500. There was 4 at the trees, but all the way up there. And the other target's behind that tree there. Woo. Almost went too high on that one. Let's try that again. Can't find it. All right, we're at 675. We're pushing the limits here, what we can do.
All right, well, there you have it. There you have it, Horizon Firearms and 22 Creedmoor, the Vandal Prime. So, you know, interesting. I mean, the components are great. Everything's high quality, and I feel a lot better now. You know, because I was getting nervous. I'm like, I hate to rip this gun, but I'm about to have to. But the groups came together, I'm like magic. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, unless I willed it to happen. So, but anyways, I gotta cut in here. Sorry about the editing. But I will say, if you look at the steel at the beginning of the video, even our groups from long range started coming in. The steel at the beginning, you can see it was sporadic. It was, you know, you'd hit it all over. You'd hit the steel at a long distance, but it wasn't really consistent. But as we approach those lines, I'll show you this, the round count. I'll show you this, even at distance, it started to come in. So, and Horizon says you're not reached your full potential 80 rounds. We're nowhere near that. So I'm kind of excited to see what the owner of this rifle can do when you really get up to that round count, because you haven't even hit the maximum of what they claim it can do. So I'll show you that real quick and then we'll finish this out. Here it is. There's a 3-shot group at 504 yards on this one. So, but anyways, maybe you got a little bit out of this, you know, got to see this. I don't see too many reviews of this. So, you know, leave a comment below. Do you have one? Have you had the similar experience we did as far as your groups tightening up over rounds? You know, comment below for you shooters that know a lot more than I do. So, other than that, don't forget to, you know, follow us over there on Twitter, on X, Facebook. We've got a page. You know, if you got some value out of it, you know, share it. You know, try to push the good word, if you know what I mean. But anyways, pretty sweet rifle. Pretty sweet rifle. Check them out. I'll leave links in the description. And until next time, you know how you like your reviews? You like them raw. Got a little bonus footage for you. So if you made it to this point of the video, which I doubt you did, but we picked up a homeless guy. Crazy story, I know. Turns out he's a fan of the Raw Hog channel. Didn't ask too many questions, but he was. So got a little lunch, asked him, hey man, you want to shoot this rifle we're doing a review on? He said, yeah, thought it'd be good. Took him out, put him at 600 yards, and this is what he did. All right, 600 yards. It's a ways down there. All right, it's on you. Go ahead. Holy shit. So now, if a man sleeping under an overpass for 6 years, small hands and smells like cabbage, can make a shot like that, I'm sold. And he did steal the rifle. He did, it's gone. But his reaction was all that I needed. But other than that, take a look at Horizon Firearms. And until next time, you know how you like your reviews? You like them raw.